how about a progress report? So that is the underpainting for Four of Swords. I kind of went with the classic umber and white underpainting, and honestly, I really don't know how many of them I'm going to do that way because I don't know, I don't really like working over that exactly. There's Six of Wands. Is the Five of Swords. Now, I had hoped that I would get farther than this last week, but actually the wands, the Six of Wands underpainting took a really long time because it's a much smaller scale than the others, and so I had to do a lot of very tiny, very careful little paint brush strokes, even to get that rough underpainting, so I don't even know what that's going to be like to finish it. So on this one, I decided to do something a little different. I'm going to do one layer of like basic colors, and then I'll come back and I'll clean up. I'll do details and I'll do glazes and kind of work on the lighting. I think it's actually a little bit easier and faster to finish it when you start out with some muted color instead of like no color at all. That's just me. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but for me, I think that does work faster. And then let me show you one more thing. Basically, this one started out the same way as that last one I showed you, but then where I wanted more color, I just glazed more color over it. For some reason in my head, I thought this painting was done, and so I was like, why hadn't I turned that one in yet? And then I started looking at stuff the other day, and I found it back there, and I was like, oh no, this is one where the weird thing happened. I don't know what it is about the umber underpaintings, or if it's the umber that I'm using specifically, but for some reason, sometimes when I'm glazing over them, they just get really dark really fast. And it doesn't really make any sense because the color that I glazed over this where it got too dark was a really transparent yellow, which is not a dark color. And it's funny because like looking at it today, I'm actually like not too upset with it. I think it actually looks okay. There's a bird out there. It's a mean bird. Oh, it left. It's like they know I'm pointing a camera at them. I have to be honest with you. I have found I don't really enjoy recording these voiceovers. I have to find a quiet time usually in the morning, which is why I kind of whisper a little bit when I'm making them, because everyone is still asleep, because it's the only time my house is quiet. And this situation has only been exacerbated by the addition of two very adorable beagle mini husky terrier puppies, which, as you can imagine, are very vocal little pets. So finding a quiet time, several minutes that I can sit here and just record, and now literally there is a fly buzzing around my head, so it's really not that quiet. You know, it's just become very frustrating, and I also have a very difficult time figuring out what I want to say when I'm doing these voiceovers. And so I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk to the camera when I am actually filming and use that audio for these, because I feel like that's more authentic anyway. That's more like what I was thinking in the moment rather than me trying to recall, because honestly at this point, yeah, my cat wants to say hello. At this point, this footage is a couple of weeks old. I've been painting a lot, and that means that I don't have that much time to edit vlogs and videos. And even though I try to set aside some time every morning, again, when it's quiet, some mornings that doesn't work out because somebody gets up early. So yeah, editing videos is not my main priority. I do this as a way to communicate with anyone who wants to look at my art or who is following along on my art journey, what kind of things are going on in a week-to-week basis, because I struggle to write these things down like in a blog format. It just doesn't, I don't never has really worked for me. And this way I feel you can see more about what's going on, and you can kind of see also what else happens besides I paint, you know. You can see sometimes the animals or what the weather has been doing or how that's affected my performance. Lately we had some extremely unseasonably nice weather, and that was immediately followed up with a snowstorm, of course. But when the weather is nice like that, I spend a lot of time just kind of like looking out the door and not really wanting to do my job. And ultimately, I end up going outside a lot and gardening because you can only stand and look out the door for so long before you have to go outside and enjoy it. And now some big trucks are here to work on the railroad right outside of the studio window. So I'm going to wrap this up and just cut to the other thing that I tend to do when the weather is too nice to focus, and that is to clean the studio. Rearranged, moved my tree over there. And today it's so warm and beautiful outside, and it sounds like spring. And if we just sit here long enough, we'll hear birds singing. You wouldn't even know that this morning when I woke up, it was frosty, icy, everything, and it's supposed to be like that again in the morning. Nope. How are these so... I think they're painted. I can't see what I'm doing on this other side. Hang on. Well, that was not honestly how I imagined that would go. Have I mentioned I'm thinking about not doing this anymore with the wax seals? Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Boom. And okay, it worked. Oh, wow, that's pretty. I think we're good now. Thursdays are like my Friday, basically. Whoa, that's bright. Maybe not gonna be taking a day off every week. Maybe not taking any days off some weeks in order to get to where I need to be on this, which I don't like to do that. I don't think it's good to do that. I used to be like that when I was younger. You have to work all the time to be successful. I don't think that kind of thing anymore. So I think that I generally work better when I do take time off because it gives you an opportunity to learn and observe things that you are not observing if you are inside your studio all the time. Because you can really like look at nature and different environments and stuff and understand more about what you're trying to paint when you are back in the studio. General flower shapes, because they are too tiny for me to put any kind of real detail into. I'm actually painting these kind of large for a tarot card, but I'm also actually kind of blind, so even though this is probably bigger than most paintings that become tarot cards, it's certainly bigger than the paintings my friends have been making for their tarot decks. It's like 4 times as big as some of the pieces my friends have been making for the decks they're working on. Even though it's bigger, it's a big piece for a tarot card. Because keep in mind, so here's one from the first, from when we had my Oracle deck proof printed almost 10 years ago now. The first time, they don't look like this anymore, and they're on much nicer paper. But I just keep this in the drawer, I don't know why. So this is how big it's going to be when it's painted, and yeah. So most people don't paint this big to make something this big because why would you? Except that I can't see if I paint smaller. So it's taking me a bit longer to produce mine than it probably takes other people because I do have to cover many, many times more square inches of blank canvas to finish mine. And I might end up having to ask for an extension. My goal is to not have to ask for an extension because this is my first time working for this company and I just don't think that's a good look. And also I really want to just do this and be done with it and move on to other projects. That's my problem is I always have a lot of ideas and I'm very excited to work on lots of things and then I have to pick one and it's a nightmare, but It's almost 2. I never fixed that clock for the time change, so I don't. But I haven't had lunch, so I'm gonna go have lunch. Alright, I got my lunch. It's very green. It's just cucumber and hummus and a wrap kind of a thing, and more cucumber and a green matcha latte, and it's green. I'm not gonna eat here with the paint stuff. I am gonna probably go outside though, so I'm not gonna take the camera. So see you in a little bit. I was out here to look at these cherry blossoms and I just noticed there's another stone bench out here. They're kind of everywhere. You just find them sometimes. These two want my attention so bad. This one still hasn't decided if she likes me or not. I traded my rooster for her. It's doing this again, this whole sunshine thing, and it's warm outside and it's beautiful, and I think there's a really significant chance that I'm going to take a pitcher of water and my yoga mat out there and just lay on the ground. I have work to do. I have so much work to do. Do you know how often it is sunny and dry here? Like, it's usually humid and unbearable. I ordered some sun sails to go across the courtyard here to help, because it also gets like 1,000,000 degrees out there, so, but they're not here yet. When they do get here, I probably will be able to sit out there and paint, but right now I can't. Want to. Me and the cats all want to go out there real bad. It's probably 80 degrees out here in the courtyard. It's so nice. I feel like I haven't really accomplished much of anything this week. I did finally get the first layer of paint on that painting. Yesterday, I was packing orders and I thought, why don't I just go ahead and pack up some Oracle decks in advance? like how many I sell in a given period of time. And that's how far I got, and then I gave up because actually it was really tedious and annoying. I have a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna get ready to go to the like neighborhood market. And this morning we don't have much for grocery stores here, so because I live way out in the middle of nowhere. So my options are to spend an hour driving back and forth in the car, and then like an hour shopping, so like 2 or 2.5 hours to get groceries, or I can try to get stuff at the corner market thing. So I'm gonna try that. Anyway, super exciting. And then I'll paint afterward. Wait, honestly,
and I think it's really interesting that the Ukrainian government keeps going, why is the West panicking? The West just wants everyone to panic.
License plate 5 girls.
Oh boy. Five girls, burgers and hurls.
So here's this thing that I've been doing in my free time. It's stuff that we cut down in our yard, and I had the idea to make it into kind of a frame, and then we had some plastic sheeting that was supposed to be clear, but it turned out it wasn't clear. So the guys started to put it up. We took it down. I thought I was going to be able to make this for free because I already had everything, but I ended up having to buy that roll of plastic on the ground. So I finally got that, and it's my free time day, so I'm going to staple it up, and I'm going to have a greenhouse to start my seedlings in.